What's up, guys? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about Tesla selling off 75% of Bitcoin, Apple stopping hiring, stopping spending. Why are these things good? People don't think about it because it throws fear into the markets, but what do you think these companies are going to do with that money? I'm going to talk about this in a second. Before I do, I update the spreadsheet. These are the first 26 coins I spoke about on the channel. If you had invested $100 into each of these when I released videos about them and you were still holding that crypto, you'd be in profit for around 12k. If you had cashed out profit at the top of the market in this previous bull cycle for each coin, you would have been in profit for 123k. That is the difference between investing in a bear cycle and cashing out in a bull cycle. If you guys want to see the coins I'm buying up in the bear cycle, come check out Copy My Crypto. Just to point out, the coins that I spoke about in the bear cycle were all of these, and they're all the biggest gainers. You know, Theta 48x, Zilliqa 58x, VeChain 62x at the peak, Engine 52, NKN 61, Phantom 677. So if you want to see the coins that I think can make those gains and have that massive run in the next bull cycle, then just click the link in the description, go to the site, see the stories, and join me. Right, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin suffered briefly after Tesla sold its holdings. I want to point out this was in second quarter, but they announced it yesterday. So Tesla bought $1.5 billion of Bitcoin more than a year ago. And on Wednesday, they announced that they had sold for $936 million during its second financial quarter. And that was 75% of the overall holdings. So if you realize that that's 75%, you know, they're down on their investment right now. But what are they going to do with it? So here's the thing, right? Tesla sold, and Bitcoin did rebound, but it did slide the moment that that announcement came out, even though obviously it was in the second quarter. And you got to bear in mind why Tesla did that. Tesla are a company. This isn't Elon Musk's personal finances. This is a company. They have shareholders, and they have to ensure that they're recovering from certain losses. And they've had a massive amount of losses in terms of factories closing down in China, which, you know, as a result, they've lost profit, right? So he said, Musk said, we're certainly open to increasing our Bitcoin holdings in the future, so this should not be taken as some verdict on Bitcoin. It's just that we were concerned about overall liquidity for the company. And the Bitcoin losses point out an important part of the Tesla investment case, which is its eccentric owner. But you can say that. What do you think they're going to do with that extra money? Well, not extra money, yeah, they made a slight loss, but they're going to invest that again. But they're going to invest it at lower prices. That's what they'll do. Because I know I'm seeing a few videos across YouTube and stuff, the bottom's in. And there's a few things you've got to consider. The bottom could arguably be in. Someone could make that argument. But with the macroeconomic picture being absolutely mental at the moment in terms of cost of living through the roof, in terms of gas and electric through the roof, in terms of petrol through the roof, people have less money. And one thing people have to remember is crypto is more of a retail market than an institutional market. And within the next few months, people are going to have even less money. As an example, the UK, you know, the gas and electric prices are going up another 30%. 30%. So households have less money. The average shopping bill has gone up more than 30%. So everyone's weekly shop is now eating into their natural finances. Most people now are using savings rather than their actual money that they're earning in a job, because it's not going as far, simply put. So you can't, for me, I can't see how the bottom can be in. Because I still think things around the world are going to get harder. Interest rates are going to go through the roof as well. As a result, people's mortgages cost more. As a result, people have less money. And these things are going to happen. So when people have less money, they put less investments into the market. The markets, as a result, drop. It's what we see with bear cycles, with recessions in particular. And what's going to happen the moment that that really goes full throttle, even more than what it is right now, is your companies like your Tesla that have got a lot of liquidity to hand are going to invest when everything is down more. And they'll absolutely buy back Bitcoin, but they won't buy it above the price that they've sold it at. They will buy it at low prices, whether that's Bitcoin dropping to 16 grand or 14 grand or 11. But they're going to buy back in. They're going to buy back in at lower prices. They're going to make a lot more money. But they have shareholders that they're having to accommodate, as well as making sure that they've generally got liquidity to run the company. But we're seeing it across the board. TikTok have done a huge set of layoffs, and not really a surprise. You would expect that. They've grown a lot, but they're also probably having less funds than expected to be able to allocate. Although, they may well have tripled their business recently. So, is an interesting one. But Apple as well. Apple, biggest company in the world, or one of, has said they're slowing down its hiring and spending growth in many of their divisions. They have come out and said, look, during uncertain times, it's better to exercise caution. So in the second quarter of 2022, Apple's research and development spending rose by sort of 1.13 billion. But as a result, they're looking at laying off people or stopping hiring, because normally Apple hires 5 to 10% in a given year. And an Apple spokesperson came out and said, look, a lot of tech companies probably will disappear, but we should not think that their fundamental trends will not still remain. The technology into digitization will be important, new business models. These are the key themes that as business leaders, we all need to be very mindful of. And they will. But what they will do as a result, hire less people. They will put less of their funds into investments as well. Because Apple obviously spend money on growth, and they also spend money on investments. But again, they're going to lay off. Now, Apple have never been ones to talk about crypto, but down the line they are going to. It's just when. But again, that's an inevitability. But as everything drops, because everything still can drop more. Whenever you think the bottom's in, be aware that it can always go lower. Especially if we hit a recession, which we're probably in one. And people forget anytime, because it's the scariest time to invest when everything is down. It legitimately is the scariest time to invest for a lot of people, because you're like, well, what if it drops more? That's why dollar cost averaging works. But also look at 2008 when we saw the banking sector crash the world economics in every country. The S&P 500, the Nasdaq, Dow Jones Industrial Average, crypto, everything took a hit to some degree. Not crypto, sorry, 2008. But everything took a hit. House prices hugely took a hit. But it took 5 years, and many of them are rebounded. It took longer for housing. It always takes a bit longer for housing. But like even the S&P 500, it took 18 months before they were new all-time highs for a lot of companies. So the same principle is true of crypto, even when we're in our bear cycles, is we'll see new all-time highs. Now, Bitcoin, whether it reaches 1 million like people predict or what, it will reach 100 grand. It will truck along and it will hit that. And whether it hits that in the next bull cycle or the bull cycle after, it will do that. But everything else will outperform Bitcoin. All the other altcoins will outperform. And yeah, the big companies are only going to invest in Bitcoin or Ethereum because they're the ones that people know right now. But in a year's time, in 2 years' time, in 4 years' time, You'll see big companies like Tesla investing in things like Polkadot, Cardano. We'll see these evolutions. We'll see altcoins all of a sudden really start building momentum. And when you're seeing huge Fortune 500 companies investing in them, they're only going to raise in price. And fundamentally, like I say, look, Bitcoin, I don't get the fear here that we saw from some people. It doesn't mean that the market's going to tank more. I think it was always going to tank more. I don't think this Tesla news is going to change anything. What this does do is remind people, look, they are going to behave for their shareholders, but that money that they added to their balance sheet is going to go back somewhere, and they're going to time it, and they'll time it for Bitcoin when Bitcoin's below 20 grand. They'll probably time it for Bitcoin when Bitcoin's, possibly below 16 grand. They're not just going to leave that money on the sidelines. And it's important that people need to bear that in mind. This is not a signal that crypto's done. This is not a signal that Bitcoin's done. None of that crap. This is just shareholder. This is business. A company offsetting losses from supply chain issues in China and preparing for the next leg of the bear cycle, which there will be one. What we quite often see as well with midterm elections is that all financial markets take a hit because of uncertainty. So I would be expecting that we'd see a deeper crash around then anyway. But yeah, just bear in mind, guys, because the most the newbie investor, a lot of them want to jump in when things are going up, and we're seeing it quite a lot now. A lot of people are getting really excited. Things are going up. I think Bitcoin will run up to about 26 and a half, possibly 28 if it can breach 26 and a half, but that's a key level. But I think there'll be tons of resistance at 26.5k, and then we'll see it drop down again. But no bear cycle goes down straight. No bull cycle goes up straight. Dollar cost averaging in, being sensible. That's the key. That is the key, folks. Yeah, just wanted to have a chat, really. Guys, what do you think about Tesla doing it? Let me know in the comments down below. Did it scare you? Did it bother you? Were you indifferent? Do you now look at Bitcoin going, it's a bit more vulnerable? Has anything changed? Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification because you want to know when new content's coming out. And if you want to see the coins I'm buying up in the bear cycle, the ones I believe can do the staggeringly good gains, the ones I believe can have those crazy parabolic runs, like I said with Phantom, when I said it would 100x. Yes, it did way more than that, but 100x, who wouldn't take that? And if you want to see the coins that I believe can do that in the next bull cycle, then just click the link in the description, come to the site, check it out, and join me. Take it easy.